In the sports world, of course, is A-Rod. Over the weekend, an independent arbitrator ruled that he deserved a 162-game suspension. But this battle, it's not over. You know it's not over. Let's bring in Mike Bako, the sports editor for DailyNational.com. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
All right, so 162 games. Why not 164 or 142? Or, I mean, where's this number come from?
Well, that's somewhat of the arbitrariness of the original suspension. That's why it's down to 162. It was arbitrary last year when they made the suspension. If it was in May, it would have been for 235 games. So this is why I think the arbitrator took a step back.
Is a guy in a hat just pulling numbers out of it? I mean,
you obviously get the 162-game suspension because that's for the entire season. So this arbitrator took a step back and said it was somewhat punitive what Bud Selig and Major League Baseball were trying to do last year, tacking on games that were for last season. He looked at it this year and said, A-Rod needs to go for an entire year. I don't think there's too many Yankee fans. Major League Baseball offices, they're not shedding a tear over having this this sentence taken down a little bit. They got what they wanted. They got A-Rod out of baseball for a year.
Let's talk about 60 Minutes for a second, because I think all of us were watching this thing just like, wait, gummies? They're eating gummies and they're in the game and they're peeing. So they start peeing and then they start doing the test to try and beat. I mean, what's your take on all this stuff?
Very sophisticated system that A-Rod was going through. You mentioned in the 60 Minutes report, take your testosterone gummy at 10:45, so it'll clear your system by,
but
say,
it never said testosterone gummy. It was a lot of code words were being used.
A lot of code words, a lot of anecdotal evidence that said that A-Rod, found ways to cheat the system. Certainly his lawyer, Joe Tacopina, was saying he never failed any tests. That's the big red flag in all of this. But if you look at it from Major League Baseball's standpoint, 14 of the players that were associated with him, 13 of them just took their suspension. A-Rod, the only one that fought it.
And he didn't testify either.
And he didn't testify.
And that was an interesting point that MLB pointed out, the fact that, if he was innocent, why didn't he step up to the three-panel board and just say, you know what? I am innocent.
Absolutely. A lot of theatrics on A-Rod's part, walking out of the hearing just before he was ready to testify.
Wait, so you're saying he should be punished just because he doesn't decide to testify? I mean, the reality is in our court system, you don't have to incriminate yourself.
But if you're innocent, you're innocent, right?
If you're innocent, you're innocent. This is an arbitrator. This is also an arbitration system that last year ruled in favor of a player. So this is not a slam dunk where every arbitration goes against the player, goes for Major League Baseball. They lost last year to Ryan Braun, who this year, same case, same sort of system, he took his suspension for 65 games. So that's the damning evidence.
All right, Mike, we were going back and forth with this because he's like, where's the smoking gun? Where's the smoking gun? I was like, they pay a lot of money not to have a smoking gun. But that being said, I also want to say Lance Armstrong. I mean, how deep was that doping scandal? So,
absolutely.
I mean, yes, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. I would have loved A-Rod to come out and say, I am innocent. Let's talk more about this throughout the show. We'll have you on standby, and also we've got our Craig Treadway that is going to be talking. Mike Bako, thank you for your input here.
There you go. You want to weigh in, just hit us on